Okay, well, he is the law student who took on the congressman, my next guest, gaining national attention over this.
And in 2008, in October, you accused critics of the stimulus plan of being racist and so on.
No, excuse me.
I'm still waiting for a very
And I'm waiting
waiting
for you to tell me what you think I should have done. I didn't say they were
You're
racist.
a public representative. I'm a student. I'm asking
you. Oh, so which allows you to say things that you don't back up.
I'm asking. It does allow me to ask you a question. I'm waiting for you to explain how much, if any, responsibility do you think you...
Well, I will take this. First of all, you are a student. Students are entitled to full constitutional freedom of speech under the First Amendment. You've made an accusation that is wholly inaccurate.
I didn't accuse you of anything. I'm asking how much responsibility, if any. If you can say none, that's fine.
That is Joel Pollack grilling Representative Barney Frank. Joel joins me right now. Joel, that was pretty impressive. Were you scared?
Not at all, and especially not when he responded the way he did.
And you were not being accusatory. You asked a simple question. What did you make of the way he turned it on you?
Well, it fit the pattern of the rest of his responses that evening, which I was disappointed by. I was really surprised when, in describing the genesis of the financial crisis, he reached all the way back to the 1930s to describe conservative politicians and their philosophies. And as his remarks went on, it seemed that Ronald Reagan was responsible and George Bush was responsible and everyone else was responsible except for the chairman of the House Financial Services Committee. Now,
that crowd, when he first responded to you, I don't have the whole series of exchanges, so I apologize, but they seemed to be kind of siding with him, and yet you still kept going. They kind of almost laughed at you, but I could have misread that. How did you feel when he was taking that crowd and more or less turning it on you, part of the crowd?
Well, I don't think any American citizen has to feel intimidated if they just want to ask a public official a very simple question. And it really doesn't matter how the public official responds. It doesn't even matter how the people around you respond, as long as you're not exceeding your time or taking up their time or wasting it. As long as you're confident that what you're asking is pretty simple and straightforward, I think you're entitled to an answer. And so when he started evading the question and the sort of home crowd started laughing, it just didn't faze me. I was just going to ask my question again and wait till I got an answer.
And you did that again when we got into the whole issue of TARP and how that got out of control. Let's take a peek at this. What are you implying I left undone? It does seem to me a fair question to ask, given the way you asked your question.
Well, for example, I think that instead of using the TARP money to simply roll through AIG and use it to pay out other banks to which it owed other obligations, you could have monitored that before you chose to give them $700 billion.
Well, here's the deal. You're totally wrong on your facts. Congress did not vote to give AIG that money. Joe, you're not going to the Barney Frank holiday party. I just want to break it to you. Afterwards, did he come up to you? Did you come up to him? What?
Well, I actually had to get back to the library to study, but on my way out, a few people from the audience did come up to me and say they were really glad that I had asked my question, and they were also glad that the young woman behind me, who happens to be my fiancée, had told Barney Frank to stop labeling people. And I think when you stand up to public officials who use labels to put you in a box, you actually liberate the people around you. They may not share your particular opinions, but nobody likes being put in a box, whether they're Republicans or Democrats. And I think if we stand up for our point of view and allow a normal political debate and discourse to proceed, everybody feels better about it, and everyone feels worse, conversely, when politicians try to shoot you down.
Joe, well said. You said it better than politicians. Joe Pollack, thank you. Glenn Beck, now.